Okay, so this will be my presentation on my research question. So my topic ended up being around informal education in the science curriculum. So the rationale behind my decision. So when I think of the science curriculum, I feel that students are not really immersed in the context of that curriculum. A lot of science theories are covered in said curriculum, but really the practical applications of these theories are quite limited. There are some required experimentation within the curriculum, but specifically it doesn't go much past that. STEM education has made a big push lately in education. More specifically, throughout high schools, I find that they have STEM programs that students can apply to when they're leaving grade 8. And I feel like this is a push in the right direction. It's a great start of getting students into the idea of applying their knowledge that they've learned in the curriculum. So, informal education component could give students choice to study any relatable scientific topic. So, giving students free choice may help foster some sort of interest or confidence within their own scientific abilities. So, my research question, as verbatim, I'll read it for you. So, could including an informal education component in the science curriculum help with student confidence and academic success, within the formal component of the curriculum? So that is the way I've decided to word my question. So I will be looking at academic success as more so a result of confidence and interest rather than grades themselves. So as for going through and looking at the literature review, so I'll be referring to a lot of these articles as simply the articles. Just getting into the specifics, this video might be a little too long. So the articles, they focus on academic success in the sense of interest. So kind of like I mentioned, grades weren't really mentioned too much, although mentioned. And it did seem like there was a general trend that grades would increase. So this interest that has been fostered through informal education has been leading to confidence increases of students' scientific ability, and confidence leads to success in these cases, as we're shown through the small amount of grades I talk about. But really, at the end of the day, is it all about the grades? Hopefully not. So informal education is also shown to be beneficial in European countries. More specifically, a few examples would be Germany and Russia, where they would run these sort of almost like a makerspace, but more specified for science, where students could volunteer and they can come in, work on whatever they decide they want to work on and look into things. So this kind of fostered that curiosity that I think is quite necessary to pursue science, or really even just to go through typical high school science. So that kind of leads into my last point, which is I think a little bit of a downfall of these articles is that the informal education that they're looking at, it's voluntary. So obviously you'll have some of the more interested students, the ones who are really into science already, who are partaking in this. So it shows you the benefit for students who already want to do it. What about those students who, you're in grade 9, grade 10 science, you're kind of forced into it. Maybe they don't want to go ahead and do a research presentation. But, we don't know that. That's the whole point of the question. So for future research, so I'm just going to give a possible way that you could research this question specifically. So normally between grade 9 and 12, more so in the later years, 11 and 12, ISUs are a big part of what these students will be doing in their science classes. So if a teacher or even a researcher wanted to look into this, what they could do is they could substitute that ISU with a informal education component. So the students are still getting what they need with the ISU if they cover it in another aspect of instruction, but they can actually go and check their own information and research into whatever they need to and run experiments that they need to under the obvious supervisory eye of the teacher. So at this point, then they could recheck the quality of their work. You could watch both classes in tandem at the same time, do surveys to see, about the motivation of the students, about their interest in science, and then from there, even doing a final quiz or something, seeing if it helped their confidence in science in general, and maybe it could even affect their grades a little bit. This is all really part of the research process. So from there, if this doesn't really yield any definitive results, either the methods need to change a bit, or perhaps no, the informal education does not change anything. So here are my references. Feel free to ask me any questions. You guys are probably turning back from my video to me in person now, so thank you.